this is the next section which we are doing, tangent planes and normal vectors. I hope the screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in this, basically, we'll first see what is the equation of a tangent plane to a surface like this, fxyz equals to c, and then how to find the equation of the normal vector or the normal line to this particular plane. Okay, so we have a tangent plane. So this is the surface we have, fxyz equals to c, and we take some point p naught on this. At this point, we are required to find the tangent plane to this surface. So what is the idea is that it should be composed or consisting of all the tangent lines at p naught of all the curves on S that pass through p naught. So we take all possible curves which are lying on this surface and which are passing through P naught. So these blue lines which you can see represent all the possible curves which are passing through P naught and lie on this surface. Okay, now to each of these lines, if we draw the tangent lines, if to each of these curves, if we draw the tangent lines, then the plane that contains all of them would be called the tangent plane. Okay, till here, is it fine? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have a surface here. We have infinitely many curves which pass through P naught and lie on the surface. Then at P naught, if we draw all the tangent lines to all those curves, then the plane that contains all those tangent lines would be called the tangent plane. And that is how we get the equation of the tangent plane also. So suppose that this capital C is any curve, and we have the equation of the curve given by this parametric representation. X is xt, y is yt, and z is zt. Now if any particular line L is the tangent, so suppose if this is the tangent to that particular curve at P naught, then this tangent line is going to be parallel to this vector r dash. This we have seen in the vector valued functions chapter also, that r dash will always represent the direction of the tangent vector. So the tangent line which we are drawing will be parallel to this vector, and here we assume that r dash is obviously not 0 at this point. Okay, only then we can get a tangent line here. Okay, so is it fine here? The tangent direction of the tangent line is given by r dash vector. Okay. So next we further move ahead. So we have this curve lying on the surface, fxyz is equal to c. So our equation of the curve, that x is xt, y is yt, and z is zt, should satisfy this equation. Now we compute the derivative. So we take derivative on both sides and we use chain rule. So we'll have 0. So on the left side, the derivative will be 0. On the right side, your function is composed of 3 variables x, y, z, and further x, y, z are functions of variable t. So using the chain rule, we can write that this is equal to partial derivative of f with respect to x into x dash t, or derivative of x with respect to t plus partial derivative of f with respect to y into derivative of y with respect to t plus the third partial derivative and derivative of z with respect to t. So this is from chain rule. You can make the diagram and see f is depending on x, y, z. Each of x, y, z is depending on t. So we are differentiating both sides with respect to t. Okay. So left side is a constant, so it becomes 0. Right hand side from chain rule, we get this expression. So at this point, if we are checking, because we have our tangent line passing through this point and the curve also passes through this point. So at this point, when we compute the derivative on both sides, we get that this expression is 0. And if you look at this expression, this is nothing but the dot product of these two vectors. Okay, so what is the first vector? First vector has these components fx, fy, and fz. Second vector has components x dash, y dash, and z dash. So this expression is nothing but the dot product of these two vectors. And the first vector we know is called the gradient vector at this point. Second vector is nothing but your r dash vector at this point at t equals to t naught, or you can say when x is x naught, y is y naught, and z is z naught. Okay, so this dot product is 0. Now, if your gradient at this point is not 0, then the dot product being 0 implies that these two vectors are orthogonal to each other. Okay, so dot product 0 means the two vectors are orthogonal to each other, which means this vector is normal to the line L. Okay, now the direction of the line L, which is the tangent line, direction of the tangent line is given by r dash, and this is another vector which we have. Now these two vectors are perpendicular to each other or orthogonal to each other, so this is nothing but the normal, okay, to this line. So therefore, the tangent line L to C at P naught is contained in the plane through P naught with this normal vector. So if we look at this plane now, where we said all the tangent lines are going to lie, so for this plane, this particular vector becomes the normal vector. Okay, and this plane also contains this point x naught, y naught, z naught. So if we use the point normal form of equation of the plane, then we can find the equation of the plane using these two things. One is this point and one is this vector, which is denoting the direction of the normal vector to the plane. Okay. So normal vector is given by the gradient, and this point is lying. So till here, is it fine? How do we get that this is the normal vector? Anyone wants to ask anything regarding this? Okay. So since we have the normal vector and we have the point, so this is how we get the equation of the plane using the point normal form. So this is your vector which has components fx, fy, and fz. And obviously we need to also check that this gradient should not be 0. So once we have the components of the normal vector, we are going to take the dot product of this with x minus x naught I plus y minus y naught j plus z minus z naught k. And after taking the dot product, we get this expression. So this is the equation of the tangent plane to a particular surface fx, y, z equals to c at a given point p naught. Okay, this is your final equation. Is this fine? Just go through this and see once. Anyone wants to ask anything? Okay. Now further, if we have found the equation of the tangent plane, then the line which is passing through P naught and it is parallel to the normal vector is perpendicular to the tangent plane, and this is called the normal line. So if I just go back to this previous diagram, so any line which is parallel to this, okay, passing through this point P naught and is parallel, which means along this vector, okay, so that line will be called the normal line to the given plane. Okay, so equation of the normal line, how do I find? So I have a point P naught given to me, and I have the direction or the vector which is parallel to that line. So if I take the components of that vector, multiply it with T, and then add my specific points, I get the equation of the line. Okay, so if you recall the equation of the line, so whenever we have a line which passes through any point, given point x naught, y naught, z naught, and parallel to or in the direction of a vector v which has components v1, v2, v3, then then equation of the line is parametric equation. Okay, it is given by x is x naught plus tv1, y is y naught plus tv2, and z is z naught plus tv3, where this t is any real number. Okay. So depending on different values of t, you are going to get the different points on this line. Okay, so is it clear till here? Yes, Shubham, is it clear? Anuja?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So I'll now move on to a question where you have to find equation of the tangent plane and parametric equations of the normal line. So for tangent plane, we need to find the gradient. And once we have found the gradient, that will be used for the normal line also. And surface is given by this equation at the point P. So the point P is given to you. Also, you are required to find the acute angle between the tangent plane and the XY plane. Okay, so angle between two planes have to be found, and that we'll see how to find using the concept of finding angle between two lines. Okay, so firstly we'll have to find the equation of the tangent plane. Okay, so for finding equation of the tangent plane, what is the first thing we have to do? That is to find the gradient. Okay, so we first write our function fxyz. So this is of the form fxyz is equal to c. So this part is our c. So we'll write fxyz x square y minus 4z square. Okay. Now we find the partial derivatives for gradient. So fx is 2xy, fy is x square, and fz is minus, sorry, please do it side by side. Minus 8z. Okay. Now, once we have found these, we have to find the partial derivatives or the components of gradient at the specific point, minus 3, 1, and minus 2. So, at this point, at P, the value of partial derivative of f with respect to x. So, put x as minus 3, y as 1. So, you get this as minus 6, and fy is x square, which is 9, and fz is minus 8z, which is 16. Okay, so therefore the gradient of f at this point, minus 3, 1, minus 2, is minus 6i plus 9j plus 16k, and definitely this is not a zero vector. Till here, is it fine with everyone? Anyone has any doubts? Priya, is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Now, once we have found the gradient, next thing is that we have to uh, take the equation or use the point normal form to find the equation of the plane. Okay, so equation of the plane. Okay, now that is given by, if you remember the equation, it is fx into x minus x naught. So minus 6 into x minus of 3. Then you have plus 9 times y minus 1 plus 16 times z plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, so quickly just solve and tell me what is the answer. Equation of the plane.
Minus 6x
Okay,
plus 9y plus 16z plus 5 is equal to 0.
plus 5 equal to 0. Yes.
Is equal to 0.
Yes. Thank you, Sachin. So we have the equation of the plane with us now, and we now have to also find the equation of the normal line. So what is the direction of the normal vector to the plane? How do we get the direction of the normal vector to the plane? No one? What is this gradient of f at this point?
Normal vector.
Normal vector. Okay. So we will use this gradient to get the equation of the normal line. So we have that the normal line is just in the direction of gradient of f, which is minus 6i plus 9j plus 16k. Okay, just a minute, there's some problem. Okay, so this is the direction of the normal line, and since it passes through this point, therefore equation of the normal line is given by x is equal to x naught. So your x naught is minus 3, then minus 60, y is 1 plus 90, and z is minus 2 plus 16t. Is this fine with everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Priti, is it okay how to write the equation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So just note this part down, then I'll move on to the next part of the question. Finding the acute angle between the two planes, tangent plane and the xy plane. Okay. Okay, so in order to find the acute angle between the tangent plane and xy plane, acute angle is to be found, so we'll just take the absolute of the angle. Now angle between two planes is given by the angle between the normal vectors or normal to the planes. Okay, so if we take the normal lines or the normal vectors to the plane and then find the angle between the two, then we can also say that that is the same angle. So that is how we define angle between two planes. We find the angle between the normal vectors to each of these planes. Now to the tangent plane, first plane, your normal vector is given by gradient. Okay, it is gradient of f at this point, which we have found already, minus 6i plus 9j plus 16k. And for the second plane, which is the xy plane, what is the normal vector given by? Can anyone tell? Normal vector to the xy plane is in which direction? No one? Himani, any idea?
No, ma'am.
No?
Ma'am,
See,
is
no,
it perpendicular to xy plane?
yes. So what will that be? Parallel to? Perpendicular to xy plane is parallel to, yes,
Z.
Z-axis.
z-axis, yes. So we can take the normal vector in the direction of
Z axis.
z-axis plus k, sorry. Okay, so it is parallel to the z-axis, so we can take the unit vector, okay, along the normal vector to the plane. So this can be taken as the normal vector. Now we have to find angle between these two vectors. So cos of theta using the dot product is given by dot of the two vectors divided by their norms. So we'll take the absolute value sign, as I said, because we want to take the acute angle. Okay, we want to find the acute angle. So we have to take the absolute of the dot product of the two, which is 16, divided by norm of the first vector. So that is 6 square plus 9 square plus 16 square. Okay. And then I have the second vector, which is a unit vector. So the norm is 1 only. Okay. So this is the answer. Just check it on your own as well. This gives you the cos of the angle. So theta is cos inverse of this. So this absolute value sign here will denote that, or will ensure that we get the acute angle between the two planes. So is this part fine? So in case you are unable to find the exact angle, you can just leave it as cos inverse of that expression. Okay. Next, I'll move on to another variation of the same formula, which is also a theorem. So you can just check the proof of the theorem. So in case your surface is given by z is equal to fxy, so that means you can explicitly write z in terms of x and y. In the previous format, which we just saw, here your z is not an explicit expression of x and y. It is an implicit one. Okay, so just in case we are able to get an explicit form for z, and that is some expression of x and y, then if the point is given to us, then equation of the plane can also be written in this manner. Okay, so it's up to you. If you want, you can go back to your previous question and also use capital F for the same, or you can use small f here. So when you separate z and you take small f, then you can also use this formula. And f of x naught y naught is nothing but z naught. So you can also write this as z minus z naught is equal to fx x naught minus x naught y naught x minus x naught, then plus fy x naught y naught y minus y naught. This is just a you can say a particular case of the previous article which we just did, where your surface was given by capital F x y z equals to c. So here if you see, it is nothing but this expression minus of z, or you can also take z minus fxy equals to 0. Okay, so you can also solve it in the previous using the previous technique, where your c becomes 0, or you can solve it using this particular formula. So this has been derived from the previous one only. So this is not something which is different from that. You can do it both ways. This is just making it a little simpler. Okay, because what will happen is that your if this is your case, then if you relate it to this, your basically partial derivative of f with respect to z will become 1, and partial derivatives of x and y f with respect to x and y will be some functions of only x and y. They will not contain z. Okay, so some g and say h of xy. Okay, so that is why there is no need to substitute the value of z in these partial derivatives, because these partial derivatives will not contain any term of z, and the partial derivative with respect to z will be 1. So we did not substitute anything. So that is how we can reduce the previous formula which we had for equation of the tangent plane to this one. Okay, so you can directly use it. If the question you can see that it is explicitly defined, or if you want, you can use this formula also by writing the expression as z minus fxy equals to 0. So your c becomes 0, and then you work on this like your capital F. Okay, so you can do it both ways. Is this part clear to everyone? Yes, Priya, is it clear? Okay, Akash, is it fine with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the question. I'll give you 2 minutes to try and solve. You may do it both ways, or maybe some people can try using it in this form and then find the equation, and others can do it like this. Okay, so after 2 minutes, I'll ask someone. Okay, let me see. So maybe Sudhanshu, can you answer this one? Sudhanshu, are you listening? Okay, then maybe we can have Piyush.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So as I said, if you want, you can take capital F is Z minus this and do it like the previous question, which is equal to 0. Okay. Or you can use it like this. Z is equal to fxy, which is and then use this particular formula. Yes, Piyush, have you done it?
Yes, ma'am. The tangent plane will be 48 x minus 1
X minus 1. Okay.
minus 14 y plus 2
Okay.
minus 1
Yes.
bracket में z minus 12
Equals to 0.
0. Yes.
Get this. Okay, so then you can further simplify and get it as 48x minus 14y minus z is equal to 64. Okay, so what technique
Normal.
have you taken it like this? The gradient and then
Yes, ma'am.
okay, okay. So thank you, Piyush. If you want, you can do it in the method which we did in the previous question, or if you want, you can use this method also. So I'll just show it for this one. This part you can do on your own. You will get the same equation, obviously. Is the screen visible now? I think I got disconnected.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I use this particular expression, I'll have z minus z naught is equal to, now first term is partial derivative of f with respect to x at this point. So the partial derivative of f with respect to x is 12x square. And then if I substitute the value of x as 1, I will get, so I'll just write it here, 12x square y square. Okay, I have to evaluate this at p naught. This multiplied with x minus x naught. So x minus your x naught is 1 plus partial derivative of this expression with respect to y. So only this part you have to check. That is 8x cube y plus 2. And this I have to evaluate at again p naught multiplied with y minus y naught. So that is y plus 2. So this is the equation of the plane, and I can further write this now at p naught, which means when your x is 1 and y is minus 2, this becomes 48 x minus 1. Then again I'll substitute x as 1, y is minus 2. So this is minus 16 plus 2, which becomes minus 14. Okay, so and then you have y plus 2 and on the left side you have z minus 12. So if I take this z minus 12 on this side, I'll get the same expression. So this will also give me the same formula, 48x minus 14y minus z is equal to 64. Okay, so I hope this is fine with everyone. Okay, so next I move on to the second type of questions which are there in this particular section, that is to find tangent lines to intersections of surfaces. Okay, so if I have two surfaces given to me, how to find the equation of the tangent lines to those two surfaces, to the intersection. Okay, so intersection of any two surfaces will be given by a curve. Okay, so you can see here from the diagram, you have a yellow colored surface and a blue colored surface. And when you take the intersection of these two surfaces, you get a curve. Now you are required to find a tangent line to this curve at this given point. Okay, so we have these two surfaces with us, fxyz equals to 0 and gxyz is equal to 0. These are two surfaces and their intersection will be a curve in 3 dimension. If x naught, y naught, z naught is a point on this curve, then the gradient will give us the normal. Okay, so that we have already seen. So gradient of f will be normal to the surface f at this point, and gradient of g will be normal to the surface g at this point again. So if the curve is intersecting, the curve is at the intersection. So this, for this curve C, then the unit tangent vector will be orthogonal to both gradient f and gradient g. When I find the tangent to this particular curve, obviously this will be orthogonal to gradient f. Also, this will be orthogonal to gradient g. So if I look at only the surface f first, I have the surface f, I have a curve passing through f, which is passing through p, curve lying on f and passing through p naught, which is x naught, y naught, z naught, and I have taken this gradient. So gradient will be orthogonal to the tangent line. Now you look at the surface G. So when you look at the surface G, again this curve is lying on the surface G. It is passing through this point, and at this point I'm drawing the tangent line. This tangent line is going to be orthogonal to the gradient. So I will have the tangent line orthogonal to both these gradients, and I will now use the concept of cross product. So when you find cross product of two vectors, what do you get? You get a third vector which is orthogonal to both these vectors. Okay, so if my cross product is not 0, then the direction of the cross product is going to give the direction of the tangent line. And in order to find equation of the tangent line, what do I have to do is just take the specific point and add it to t times the direction of the tangent line. Okay, just go through this part and see if it is clear to all. You have two surfaces F and G. You have the intersection of these two given by this curve, blue colored curve, which is say you call it some capital C. Then you are making a tangent to this particular curve at this point. Okay, that is given by this. This is the tangent vector, and you can extend it to get the tangent line. By the previous concept we had seen, tangent vector is going to be orthogonal to the gradient. So it will be orthogonal to both the gradients because your curve is lying on both the surfaces. So once we know that it is orthogonal to these two vectors, then the direction of this tangent will be given by the cross product of these two vectors, provided the cross product is not 0. Okay, so unless if it is 0, then we will not be able to use this concept. We'll have to see something else. So once we find the direction of the tangent line, then we can use the formula that equation of the tangent line is given by the specific point plus t times the direction. This will give you the parametric representation of the tangent line to the curve of intersection. Okay, not just any curve, but to the curve of intersection. So I'll move on to the question. You have two surfaces, one is this and the other one is this, and this is the point. So when you take the intersection of these two surfaces, you will get a curve, and you have to find the equation of the tangent line to that curve at this point. Okay, so firstly we'll see the gradient part. So if you look at the expression here, we start with surfaces f x y z equals to 0. So that means we have to shift all the terms onto one side and equate it to 0. So this is something which you must remember. Your surface f is given by x square. So you can take either this or z minus this, which is equal to 0. And your surface G is given by, sorry. So G is given by x squared plus 4y squared plus z squared minus 9 equals to 0. Okay, so using these two expressions, I'll find gradient of f at this point 1, minus 1, 2. So that will be partial derivative of f with respect to x at this point P plus partial derivative with respect to y at the same point P plus partial derivative with respect to z at this point P. This is the gradient, and when I substitute the values, x is 1, so I get 2i, pi is minus 1, so minus 2j, and for the third component, I simply get minus of k. Is it fine till here? You can find the gradient of G also in the similar way. You get 2i minus 8j plus 4k. Okay, so just keep differentiating this with respect to x. Put this point, then with respect to y, again substitute the values from this point, and then with respect to z. So that will give you the three components of the gradient vector. Next thing is we have to find the cross product. So cross product is ijk. Then you take the components of vector f. So 2 minus 2 minus 1, g, 2 minus 8 and 4. Okay, so just write the components of these two vectors in the two rows, and then you can expand it like a determinant. This is what you get finally. Please verify this also side by side. This is an exercise question, so you will get the final answer from there, but in between steps you can just check your calculation work. Now the tangent vector or the tangent line is parallel to this vector, okay, which has these components. So I can simplify this further and say that it is also parallel to. So what I'll do is I'll throughout divide these components by -2. Okay, so I can get another vector. So you know that you can get infinitely many vectors that are parallel to each other. Okay, so what I have done is divided each component by -2. That is a common component factor here for each of these numbers. So I can get, or I can use this vector also to be the vector which is parallel to your tangent line. And so equation of the tangent line will be x is equal to x naught. X naught is 1 plus the direction into t. Then y is phi naught is -1 plus 5t, and z is 2 plus 60. Okay, so this is how you get the direction or the equation of the tangent line. Is this fine? Just go through this and see. Anyone has any doubts? Okay, so that is all in this section. 13.7. We had equations of tangent planes, normal vectors, and you will have questions based on finding tangent lines, which is to a particular curve, which is intersection of the two surfaces which are given to us. Okay, so these are the three types of questions which can be asked, and there could be slight variations. So you can see questions from the exercise also, that suppose you want your tangent plane to be perpendicular to a certain plane, then what kind of a condition? So you can see some variations to the type of questions, but broadly these are the questions which you'll be asked from this section.